I'm totally freaking out right now because I've never done this before in my life. And my heart's like going, because I'm not really good at talking in front of people. So anyways, I'm using a like 7-year-old computer and I have just a old action camera hooked up here. So please say, oh, God, it's hard to talk. I'm going to be doing some drawing. I'm going to be doing my steampunk gauntlet that I just know that some people requested some blabbering along. Just let me take a drink of tea and just chill out. Hi, Villy. So this is how I design stuff when I'm designing, and I'm going to make the steampunk gauntlet that everyone voted for. So here we go. So first of all, when I'm making something, I ask myself, why the heck am I doing what I'm doing? Why is the person... Uh-oh, someone just came to the door. Oh well, I'll have to wait. So anyways, why are we making this thing? And the reason is... okay, just chill. This is not what I'm the best at. Okay, so anyways, let's just design this steampunk gauntlet. First off, why are we making it? Well, maybe the person had... just gotta run to the door. I'll be right back. Okay, well, surprising you're still here. Okay, so why are we making this steampunk gauntlet? Why is the person like, is their arm all shriveled and that's why they need a thing on their arm? Or are they like, did they get it bitten off by a mechanical shark or something? So in order to make something that looks really cool and good, it needs to look like it has a purpose, right? So that's the first thing I always say, like, what are we doing with this thing? Is it an army guy who has like a big gun on his arm or something? And I would like to think that this gauntlet that I'm going to be making is going to be for, like someone whose like arm was shriveled up because they touched a flower that was poisonous and shriveled their arm. So let's go with shriveled arm. Yeah, shriveled arm. And so what is their arm going to do? Well, obviously it needs to replace the arm that was on there. So it's going to have to be mechanical. It's going to have to move, which means it's going to have to look like what? What does it look like? It's going to need some power. So how's it going to get power? And the good thing about like these are things that helps actually figure out what you're going to put on it, because actually sometimes the hardest part is, you want it to look all like really intricate and cool, but you're like, well, let's just chuck some gears on there or something. But then that just looks really ridiculous. If you're putting some gears on something, there has to be a reason for them. So basically we're coming up with reasons for things to happen, right? So you're going to have some sort of power source. So whatever that looks like. Does it have hydraulics? Do you have like little hydraulic thingamabobbers to move the arm so you can like, so your arm goes like, right? Is it going to cover like the whole lower and upper arm, or is it just going to be on the lower arm? I'd like to think that it would actually cover the upper arm and the lower arm, so that you've got just more possibilities for different linkages and stuff like that to look cool. So that's what I'm thinking. It's going to encase. I'm going to have it encase the whole arm, which might make it tricky. which is actually why I have kind of not wanted to do this, because I know it's going to be tricky. And one of the reasons it's going to be tricky is because our arms are kind of, I don't know, can I move this camera so you can see it? Can't really see it if I move back. It's like your arm, right? It moves like this, but it also moves like this. So if I have something that I want to have cover this part of my hand and also this part of my arm, this section in here has to somehow allow for that to move as well as the arm to move. So, yeah, I don't know. That's why I kind of didn't want to do it, because it's kind of going to be complicated. So the other thing is that I always think about when I'm making new projects is how to keep it cheap and accessible, right? Because you could go to the hardware store and pay thousands of dollars and get all kinds of super cool things, but I would rather make it out of cheap materials. So that means foam, obviously, maybe some PVC pipe, little bits of wire and things. And the other thing is, it's got to be wearable, right? Like if you make something that looks really cool, but you can't wear it to a con or something, or you have to stay super rigid, like that's why I don't want to actually do, oh yeah, my fingers are right here. That's why I don't want to actually do foam on my fingers, like as a gauntlet there, because the foam gets worn pretty quick. As soon as you start wearing it around, you got the finish comes off. I sent my son out wearing a night costume for Halloween, and it came back pretty trashed wherever it rubbed against itself. So I want to make something that is actually going to be wearable, that's not going to look bad by the end of the time. So anyways, I don't know. Let's start drawing something. This is really weird for me because normally when I'm designing something, I'm sitting all alone. It's very quiet, and I'm just sort of doodling and drawing. So yeah, my apologies to everyone. This is a bit of an experiment. Hey, Rodrigo, Josephine, Noodlebot42. You're wearing your steampunk goggles. That's super sweet. I love it. If I was wearing steampunk goggles right now, I wouldn't be able to see what I was doing. So anyways, here's my arm. As close as an arm as can be, right? So basically, first of all, it's got to flex right in here. So we're going to have some sort of a gap there, which means here's our there's our point of pivot. So that actually could be a good place for some sort of gears, because that actually makes sense that there'd be gears there, because they could connect to something else. I'm thinking we go, let's see, we got the top of the arm. So how does this connect? How does this attach to your arm? Maybe there's some like bolts around the top, like that. You got your hydraulics right here. Oh, I just realized I didn't bring an eraser, which is going to be really bad because I'm going to need one big time. That's why you should always plan ahead, everyone. Is the gauntlet only going to be a replacement for the shriveled up arm? I think so. What else would it be? Or will it be an improvement on the shriveled up arm? I think it'll be a vast improvement, hopefully. The thing is, it'll have the hand sticking out the other end. So, because I don't think I'll be able to replace the hand. Although you could actually have it cover over top of the hand and add some sort of other extra thingamajig. That's the technical term for it. Thingamajig. All right, so there's an arm. And I'll just randomly talk as I draw. I always, one thing I like to do on my designs is have some sort of like fancy element that doesn't really need to be there. Hi, Max Power. So I like to have some sort of like curly fancy bit. So like, maybe you could do that around the nuts or something there that are holding the arm on. That looks terrible. It's really hard for me to draw and talk and be nervous at the same time. Or you could make a glove looking like a mechanical hand. I know that's the hard part though, is the mechanical hand part, because that's the complicated bit, especially if you're making it out of foam. Unless you have a good idea for that. I would like though for this, so there's say your wrist. I would like there to be some sort of connection that goes over top of the hand. And maybe it's connected, on my jetpack, how it kind of has like a spine thing. So here's like looking down it, you have like discs or whatever. And maybe it could have, say, wires that run up through it. So like down here. So you have, I need an eraser. Let me get an eraser. I'll be right back. Just sing quietly to yourself. Hey, Arenado, the more live videos you do, the easier they will be to do. That is so true. It's kind of getting a little bit easier right now, but I'm really shaky. I'm totally like jittery like crazy. Sorry about the squeaky chair, by the way. But thanks for the encouragement. After doing this one, oh, this is a good eraser. After doing this one, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this again. I couldn't even find my good eraser. But I'm just going to stick with it because a wise person once told me the only way to grow is through pain or through, what was the other one? Pain or risk. So here's some risk. Hey, Portal Guy. I'm just designing a steampunk gauntlet, but it's sort of going a little bit horribly wrong right now because I don't have an eraser that works properly. Anyways, as I was saying, it'd be cool to have the part that goes over top of the hand. Obviously, it would look more funky than just a square. And it would actually maybe connect with a bunch of wires, because it has to be flexible, like I said, so that it can twist and turn when your wrist turns, so you're not stuck with your wrist all solid. And anytime you have a bunch of wires is super fun because, hi Random Sniper, wires are great because they can just go all over the place, but you want to make them look like they are meant to go in those places. So I like to always, so if you have like say one wire that's going say like that, it's great to sort of parallel it with another wire that then goes off somewhere else, right? You want to have them kind of follow each other and then do their own thing. Why? I don't know, because it looks better. The other thing is that I'm thinking about is, so you have this part for the top, that's covering say the top part of your arm. But I think it would be cool if it actually encased the whole arm. So then you're gonna have like a top half there. This is like end view, right? And maybe the bottom half comes in underneath, and you could run a strip of Velcro right along there on the inside of the top half. So the bottom half kind of Velcros inside the top half. And that would, because then you've got like your whole arm encased, looking super cool. And You could add a leather piece around the wrist to make it twistable. Yes, you could. You could, you totally could add a piece of leather or a piece of any kind of fabric, really. I try not to, just because leather can be expensive, although if you just buy an old jacket at a thrift shop and cut it up, that could totally work, random sniper. The other thing is you want to make a nice like ridge on this edge here. This is a terrible drawing. Just around each edge so it, I don't know, just looks more like it's meant to be that way. Whenever I'm thinking as I draw, I just kind of draw over the lines I've already drawn because that's super helpful. What else? Oh yeah, how's it made? What are these sections made out of? Are they video won't load for Heaven Bergfeld? That could be on my end because I've got some pretty low fidelity stuff going on here. I'm using a iMac from 2010 and Stone Hunter says go get Opera. So let's make these, I don't know, maybe if we do these with like overlapping plates. So this is now underneath. Again, if I had an eraser, that would be super good. So you've kind of got like plates that lap over each other, perhaps. So side view, you're looking at, side view, you'd be looking at something like this, plate like that. Which could look kind of cool. And then obviously you're going to need some rivets along there. This hinge is going to actually have to be a hinge, not just a circle, right? So that's probably looking more like that, with that one piece coming underneath there. I do not have lenses from glasses to use in my goggles. What alternatives do you suggest? Oh, if you can get a hold of some plexiglass, depends what country you're in, what they call it. Perspex in Australia, I know. Plexiglass in Canada. It's just like that plastic sheet that's, I don't know, about 3 mils thick, something like that. And then you can cut that out with just a jigsaw or something into discs. It's cool if you can get like tinted of that, which is good. Also, people have actually made it out of a pop bottle, you know, the plastic 2-liter bottle of whatever. You can cut that out and glue it in. It's not going to be pretty. Well, it can be okay, but it's not going to be super great. Yeah, those are some alternatives. Can I also say that the best tool in the world for that kind of thing is actually a jeweler's saw? Because I used to be a jeweler, I have a jeweler's saw and I use it for cutting everything. It takes these really thin blades so they can cut really fine, intricate cuts. And that's totally my favorite saw. And that's what I would use actually for cutting. If you did have sunglass lenses to cut, that's what I'd use for cutting them. Use the plastic paper holders that people use in school binders. Good call. That would be a really good idea. Do it. I don't really know where I'm going here now, especially without an eraser. I feel like I need to just sort of erase and build some, I need some sort of container here. because you've got to have all your energy stored somewhere, right? Like in a big container, energy storing container. That's where I store my energy. In containers. Obviously, from the energy container, the energy's got to go somewhere, right? So you're going to need some energy coming to these babies here. So we're going to might need a little box. Might be nice if those are sort of set up on a separate boxy thing. Yeah, boxy thing that's riveted on. Maybe another boxy thing over here. I can tell you right now that this is not going to be the final version of this. This is the drawing stressed out version of this, which is, I find that when you're being creative, you really need to be relaxed. Most of the time, I get my ideas when I'm in bed, half asleep. Because, yeah, max power until the blade breaks. That's so true. Talking about jeweler's saws, the blades are so tiny. They're very, very, very easy to break. That's why you buy them by the gross, 144 blades. So let's make this, let's just do some fancy little... Put our bolts up here. These are the bolts that are attaching it to our arm. Thanks, Noodlebot. I think we're not creative as much nowadays because we have so many other things that take our mind away from being creative. Like I said, when I'm creative is usually when I'm not doing much, when I'm just relaxing my mind. And I think because we're all watching our phones and we're all watching people live streaming on YouTube, and so maybe we just don't allow ourselves to be creative. Also, it's scary being creative, right? Because you're really putting sort of yourself out there. You're putting your ideas and things just out in the world, and people can trash them pretty easily. So I think lots of times we try and protect ourselves, and so we don't be creative. Random Sniper says, can I ask, what is your name, Lost Wax? Yeah, my name's Chris, and I like making things. Yeah, hello there, Alronja. So, yeah, I think creativity is something, I think people are valuing it more now, again. I think there was a time when it wasn't sort of valued, but then you realize that life actually isn't that fun without being creative. It gets a bit boring. I don't really know. I'm kind of not really drawing much here anymore, but I'm actually enjoying chatting with you guys. And I'm relaxing a little bit, which is good. So maybe I will try this again. What else do we need? Hey, anyone, what else do we need on this this arm, right? What's going to go here? We need something cool here. And we also have to remember that the inside of the arm, so this is basically, I don't know, this is a cutaway, so there's going to be a bottom half here as well, say. But we have to remember that the inside of the arm shouldn't really have anything on it because you don't want it to smash against your body. How's that? And so the outside side should actually have everything on it. And right now, you know what I'm thinking as I'm doing this? The biggest problem is going to be finding something to use for these cylinders because you want something that will slide into, because it's actually going to have to actually move for this to work right. Because if you want to move your arm, those rods, pistons, are going to have to actually slide in and out of each other. So I want to kind of find something that's going to be strong enough but be a close enough diameter that it'll slide inside without too much wiggle room. How about a hatch with gears inside? Sounds good. Let's do it. Let's make a hatch. We need some what are these called? Hinges. All right. So we've got our hatch. Be cool if we could make it so it opened up. Because there would be gears inside, wouldn't there? Definitely. So actually, why don't we make it, let's make it actually sitting up. So it's actually almost like a, do we want to make it like a box that's sitting up? I don't know. Move the power supply to the outside of the bicep. Yep. Gives you room for tools or weapons on the forearm. Good call. So we could move this power supply, could actually be over here, right? Ah, hey, look at this. This could actually be cool too. Look at this. This is the fun thing about when you start drawing. Now I need my eraser again. Is what if we had 3 or 4 power supplies running around the arm like this? They might become not power supplies, but whatever they are, it doesn't matter. It looks cool. And that's kind of starting to look cooler. What else have we got here? Maybe for the pistons, you could use a pen case and the spring from inside of the pen. You totally could use a pen case. I imagine them, I would think the pen case would actually be the inside of the piston because I would want them kind of like decent sized. But that's a good source for a bit of plastic tubing that would work pretty well. The other thing is on these what are these things called again? Sorry, I have a hard time with words. So yeah, the pistons, this end bit is actually going to have to be able to swivel because as that piston goes in and out, there's going to be swiveling here. So that's going to have to pivot there somehow, which is something to think about later on. And it's going to have to pivot here too. Ink cartridge with Q-tip rod makes good piston. Yeah, that could work. Still a little bit thinner than I would like, maybe. Thick rubber band for the hydraulic press thingies. I'm not sure. Thick rubber band. I'm not sure what that means. Make an arm cannon. Well, of course, because everyone needs an arm cannon, right? And that's the cool thing, right? Once we have the basic pattern that fits an arm, we can just keep adding stuff, right? Like you don't even need your hand to show because this could actually just go over your hand, right? And your hand's like inside there, but this can just keep going, and you could have whatever you want. You could use a pet hand feeding syringe for the pistons. A pet hand feeding syringe for the pistons. Cool. I've never seen a pet hand feeding syringe, but that could be cool. I wonder what's the inside of this syringe like. Is it a tube, or is it? Because I know I've seen lots of syringes that are a cross section, which it would be good if it was a tube inside a tube. I don't know. You might know more about that. Let me know. Could you use magnets to allow the piston to swivel? Totally, you could. The other thing you could do is actually just use, say, a loop. What could you do? You could use, I don't know. I was thinking somehow you could have a loop of wire or something going through there. which is possible, but I haven't really thought it through yet. But yeah, I like the syringe idea. That's a nice bit of tubing. As long as you can get them cheap somewhere. PVC is great. Like PVC is super cheap. Like the stuff you use for conduit and ducting and stuff. Conduit anyways. Which you can get like sort of 1 inch. Be nice to get about a 1/2 inch sort of diameter tubing for that. Yeah. Let's erase this. The other thing is this hand piece. Obviously it's going to need some sort of strap that's going underneath it. I'm seeing it as kind of coming up here and a bit around the hand, and then strapping across underneath. Maybe. Could you leave space to add a watch? I have a steampunked one and I was thinking about making a sort of top arm gauntlet. I don't know if, well, you can leave space to add a watch, Space Sheep M, but I think that it's going to be fairly full of stuff, but you could put a watch, you can always change it, right? And slap a watch on top. I'm really liking this vibe here with these canisters. They're like half a canister all the way around, right? And they could even be linked together. With, oh no, now it's starting to look more like a bomb or something. I don't know. But that's kind of cool. Or kind of like a little bit like some sort of magnetic something or other. You know, magnetic something or other. I don't know. I think now my next step is really to grab some foam and actually start playing with it, bending it around my arm, seeing if I can get it to actually fit. Yeah, exactly. Ballast Domby. We don't want it to look like a bomb. On the forearm, you could open a small box that opens for a steampunk map. I like that. Yeah, that's cool. Or like a little toolkit or something. Yeah, no, Portal Guy, I don't think the gauntlet is going to cover the fingers. And like I was talking about before, I want to make it really, really wearable so that it's not something that you can't do anything in. I've seen gauntlets where you use a glove underneath and then you glue the foam to the fingers or different things. But I know that if you want to use your hands, those pieces of foam are going to get wrecked. The paint's going to wear off them. So when I plan for a costume, I want it to be actually really quite usable, and so you don't have to baby it. So that's just what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it won't cover it. I know this has nothing to do with the gauntlet, but do you believe time travel exists? Well, Noodlebot42, I'm not... I don't know. I know that there's weird stuff that goes on in the, like quantum physics and stuff. They've got some pretty crazy stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked if one day someone said they traveled through time. I personally haven't myself. So, yeah. I guess I'll have to leave that to the experts. Just a leather glove would be cool. Yeah, you could just have a leather glove. A leather glove underneath would be cool, actually. Yeah. That'd be cool. Okay, guys, I'm kind of running out of ideas. And so I would just be sitting here going on and on. Maybe I'll take some video when I actually start trying to make something like this for real. And thanks for hanging out with me on this random trial live stream. Was it good? I don't know. It feels like just a lot of not that interestingness to me. But that's because it's me. And Visigoth says it's neat. Cool. Hey, Deanian. How you doing? Good to see you. So thanks everyone for rocking up. I didn't expect that many people would even show up. So you guys are awesome. Can I just say that I love the creativity in the steampunk world. So here's Wolfie Waffle says, I'd like to see more live stream. It's fun to ask questions. That's nice. You're doing a live stream. Yeah, calm and chill. Quite an enjoyable stream. Cool. Well, okay, that's cool. I'll probably do it again, and hopefully I'll be more relaxed and I'll have an eraser. Yeah, I'd love to do a Q&A live stream. Totally. Heaven. I would definitely be into that. So we'll do that sometime. And we can just talk about stuff and hang out, and that would be fun. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to sign off, and you guys all go do something creative. Go have a nice creative time. No, I'm not going to Steampunk World's Fair, but you should. All right, cool guys. See you later.